This muscle, which is called the sternocleidomastoid muscle, sternocleidomastoid muscle is going to divide the neck in two regions. One is anterior and one is posterior. Because these are triangular shape, that's why we call it triangle. Okay, so this is the anterior triangle. This one is anterior triangle, and this one is posterior triangle. So you have two triangles in the neck. One is the anterior triangle and one is the posterior triangle. The triangular, it is cleft between the muscles. So actually no triangle is present over here. It's just cleft between the muscles, which is triangular in shape, and that's why we call it as a triangle. So this is the anterior triangle and this one is the posterior triangle. And this muscle, the muscle which is the sternocleidomastoid muscle is dividing the neck into anterior triangle and the posterior triangle. Okay, so let's go detail into first anterior, the anterior triangle. Okay, as we discussed that the posteriorly, it is the posterior boundary of the anterior triangle is formed by the sternocleidomastoid muscle, okay, and the anterior boundary by the midline, okay, and the superior by the mandible, okay. Then comes the detail. Basically, this triangle is further divided into four triangles. Why it is divided into the four triangles? This muscle, which is the omohyoid muscle, which is the superior belly of the omohyoid muscle. This is the hide bone. This is the hide bone. This is the omohyoid muscle. This is the digastric muscle. Okay. Basically, this digastric muscle, this omohyoid muscle is dividing this portion of the neck, the anterior triangle into four main triangles, four further triangles you can say. Okay, this muscle which is coming from the mandible and inserting into the hide bone is dividing this upper part of suprahyoid portion into two triangles. One is this one and one is this one. Okay, basically this one is called the submandibular triangle, or you can say digastric triangle, and this one is the carotid triangle. Okay, this is the carotid triangle and this one is the submandibular or digastric triangle. You can say whatever you want. Okay, so come inferior. Inferior you have this one and this one. This one is the this one is the muscular. Only muscles are present over here, so that's why it is called the muscular triangle. This is the muscular triangle, and this is basically the carotid triangle. This is the, okay, I will tell you again details. The posterior triangle, this one is the posterior triangle and this one is the anterior triangle. Okay, anterior triangle is further divided into four triangles by the hide muscle and the omohyoid muscle and the digastric muscles. Okay, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, this is basically portion which is below the mandible. That's why you can say it you can say this portion as the submandibular, or you can say it as the digastric triangle. Okay, this one I'm talking about, this one, this which is below the mandible. Okay, this is the submental triangle because it is below the mental foramen over here, so it is below it, so it is the mental triangle. This one is the carotid triangle. Okay, this one is the carotid triangle and this one is only muscles are over here, that's why the muscular triangle. So four triangles. One is the submandibular or digastric, and submental and carotid and muscular. Okay, let's come back. The posterior triangle. Posterior triangle is bounded Anteriorly, posterior triangle is bounded anteriorly by the sternocleidomastoid muscle and posteriorly by the trapezius muscle. Okay, this is the trapezius muscle and this one is the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Sternocleidomastoid muscle is bounding the posterior triangle anteriorly and this is the posteriorly. Okay. So one muscle is crossing. This is basically the inferior belly of the omohyoid muscle, which is dividing posterior triangle into two further triangles. One is above and one is below. Basically, this is the suboccipital part. This is the you can say this portion as the occipital triangle. This is below the occiput, so that's why it is called the suboccipital triangle. This one below is the supraclavicular triangle, which is above the clavicular. Supraclavicular, submental, and muscular triangle, and carotid triangle, and submental triangle, and submandibular or digestive triangle. Thank you so much.